Alrighty, welcome to another episode of Sports Talk for You. My name is Aaron Bell. I have my co-host Armand Ely and Adam Parker, and Chase Gibson is with us today. Glad you can make it. We do not have any guests today, as we are just doing this show on our own. We are going to talk about Major League Baseball possibly starting up in June, but as it looks of right now, with the way Corona's going, it might not even come to that. And also a couple of NFL players that have been tested positive. So what do you guys think is going to happen with the MLB, and will we have a season?
Man, I hope we still have a season. Uh, Major League Baseball kind of slowed down that whole deal about doing it in Phoenix and having it at Chase Field and spring training part and having the players isolate themselves in hotels. But you're asking them to be away from their families for 4 or 5 months, and that's a lot of ask. Some players were down with it, and there were some players who were not down with it. The
Well,
ones who were probably
I know Mike Trout came out saying that he has a newborn baby, and it'd be too hard for him to be away from that newborn baby.
exactly,
You
yeah.
just got to think of the families and stuff. You don't have to have sports. Yeah, we want sports, but you also got to think about the team's families. I mean, these guys, and they got other priorities in life than sports right now.
Some of these players they want to get paid. Some of these families they want to get paid, but it is what it is. Hopefully, they can get started in June, and the phases were started. Opioid in the country. Dr. Fruch said we can possibly have sports, but it's going to be without fans.
Yeah,
for a while, but we'll see what happens.
Well, and that'll be interesting as well, Armand. If they do get to play on TV, seeing the fans out there, just playing catch before games. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into this. Playing catch before games, catching those home run balls. I mean, just seeing the stadium empty is it's going to be crazy.
It's going to feel the same, that's for sure.
Yeah, it won't be the same. And I mean, are they going to have to ramp up, some of the audio of fans cheering?
That's what they're saying. Maybe they'll play like audio on the sound system of like crowds cheering or something like that, just to make it better.
There actually be an opportunity to mic up the players.
Yeah.
What they do is spring training.
Yeah.
I love the spring training thing. I think that was like the coolest thing to watch some of these players communicate with us, the fans, and with the commentators of, hey, this is what I see when they're throwing like this, or, that's something I'd like to see the MLB kind of adapt or adopt, is that, letting the players communicate a little bit, where that brings, I think, just a little bit of interesting thing to baseball, but maybe watching it.
Hey, the one good thing behind this is that it gives Adams Yankees enough time to get their injuries all, healed up and ready to go, so they don't lead the nation in the IL again.
Or suspensions, right?
Or suspensions, yes.
I'm already planning on them always leading the league in IR. So, no matter if we play.
I mean, come on, they got to be on steroids to have this many injuries. Like,
hey, man, your guess is as good as mine on that. But also, too, I'm shocked that they haven't fired their strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah,
or just somebody in that medical field.
By the way, we do want to give our condolences to the Steinberg family.
Right.
So R.I.P. to him. He was a wonderful owner, and we just hope the Yankees nation is doing the best they can right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, condolences out to them. Back to your point, though, when the season should start, I think it would be awesome, even though it'd be an extra month away, but started on Independence Day, July 4th.
Yeah.
I think that'd be real cool.
It'd be like college baseball, play a 60 season game.
Yeah. And anyway, I just think it'd be really cool to start it on Independence Day. Granted, it'll probably be without fans, but you know what? I think it'd be great to usher in the new baseball season on July 4th with a great fireworks display. And be interesting to see how they incorporate fan noise, if any, or they just have the PA to announcer up in the press box try to,
Yeah, he'll
um,
go.
distract the batters or
He'll go
whatever.
Cleveland. He'll go Cleveland Indians on them. Listen to
That's
this
right.
crowd.
Make it
Hey, hey!
Bob Bucher,
Bob Uecker.
just a bit outside, try to coordinate this.
Now the thing
Yeah.
behind this is, do you think that if they do start in July, should they still play every day, or do you think they should still have their off days?
I think they probably should have their off days. They're not going to get 162 games in. They need to let that fantasy go. You're going to have a short season. Get as many games you can, but you still need to have these players have their off days.
Yeah.
I would love to see Harry Carey come back. Maybe. Hey guys, welcome back to baseball.
He has risen.
Harry
everybody.
Carey.
Harry,
Sammy Sosa.
You're going to have Will Ferrell. Hi.
Yeah. All right, now we want to get to NFL football. Interesting news. Von Miller and another Los Angeles Rams came out, tested positive. Do you think this will affect the 2020 season? Will it still start on time, or will we have a suspension?
Well, absolutely, it's going to affect it, especially if there's some more players that do come out. With this crazy, hideous virus, and it's a situation where if all other sports don't get to start, I don't think football, NFL or college will start on time. And I've been saying that for a month.
Yeah.
So hopefully Von Miller and the other guy from the Los Angeles Rams are the only ones, so we can hopefully get things going in September.
Well, let's hope they caught it when they did, so they can stay quarantined and not spread it.
That's right. And Von Miller, I'm a Broncos fan. If he can't go, all I got to say is good luck to my Broncos, man, because that's a big, big loss, coronavirus aside.
If he can't go, Mahomes is going to have a heyday against that defense.
Exactly.
Mahomes is going to have a heyday against that defense with or without Von Miller.
That's true, because they got rid of their whole secondary this offseason.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a heyday for the Chiefs and anybody else who plays them. So, and we all know that they can't really do a shootout, and Melvin Gordon won't help them at all. And just real quick, just a side note here, I have to make a correction. I said Hal Steinbrenner died. It was actually Hank Steinbrenner.
Yeah.
So forgive me on that one, guys. So back to football. And anyway, I just think I don't know. Do you guys think now that Von Miller came out with this virus, it's going to really take their mindset in a different direction for the NFL draft coming up?
I don't think so.
I mean, regardless, they were going to do it. They weren't going to have the NFL draft in a building. They're going to do it over the social media and stuff. So, I mean, either way, it wasn't going to affect it.
There'll be a virtual draft, and you get to see a preview of that with the WNBA draft tonight. They'll do it in a virtual draft. You want to see what it may look like. You may want to tune into that. I know the NWNBA, it's very riveting stuff, especially their draft.
Right. And do you think the Broncos, their mindset is going to change because of, we need to draft another defensive end, or keep the plan as is?
No, as long as Von Miller returns to health, which looks like he is, he said he was doing fine. It won't affect anything. It's not like he tore his ACL or whatever.
That's true.
Well, and I've heard some more NFL players come out and say that they're not going to play if there's no fans in the stadium. So, and I know money talks, because
I was going to say, they say that, but if they get that paycheck, they're going to play. I mean, plain and simple. Because if they tell them, well, if you don't play, you don't get paid, they're going to be, okay, we'll play.
Think about a stadium like Arrowhead Stadium or Seattle, some of these louder stadiums, of course, those players want to play in front of a fan kingdom like that. So I mean, that's going to be the interesting thing. If they're going to shorten the NFL season up, if they're going to start later, how is that going to affect everyone else? But
Yeah.
with the draft coming up, I think it's going to be interesting. Are fans going to post where Roger Goodell lives so they can go over there and boo him at his house?
Yeah. Are the poor Raiders going to be disappointed again and want to have to go hurt their ownership?
Throw beers.
Here's the thing, just like what you said, Aaron, players are going to play, whether it's going to be one person to stand, 0 people, or 100,000 or whatever. They're not going to be sit out and not get paid. That's just asinine. Players are going to play. What's that?
Unless you're Dak Prescott.
Oh, Dak Prescott's an idiot. No talent school anyway. So what the heck with him? Jeez. Y'all know Zeke Elliott's the real star of that squad. And the Cowboys would have won a Super Bowl if Tony Romo was the quarterback and not Dak Prescott. We all know that.
Thank you. And this coming from a Redskin fan.
Shoot. They're going to play. It was interesting that, Kirk Cousins had mentioned it'll be kind of a unique situation with no fans. He stated that, well, we practice with no fans. And, of course, you don't practice with any fans out there. It's practice. Talk about practice. So, hey, if sports can be played without fans for right now, safely, why not? Give it a shot. As long as it's done safely, I'm for it.
But here's my thing. Not a lot of these stars, but a few of these stars from the NFL are from these small colleges that maybe averaged, 3,000, 4,000 fans a game. So they'd be used to playing with no fans in the stands.
Right.
I mean, it's just.
And if you're like the Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, or the Cincinnati Bengals,
you're not going to have anybody in those stands.
We're the Washington Redskins. Well, we have opposing fans in our stands, but it may help us.
But can we say the real Tiger King is going to be Joe Burrow?
Yes.
He will be the true Tiger King. I give it 3 years, he will lead that team to the playoffs.
Which is just a crazy thing because you think this kid came from Ohio State, kind of a backup quarterback, not really getting a chance to play until really his junior year, at LSU. And then the guy everything that you think that he was going to fail at. Look at the division he played in. The SEC played Alabama. Ohio State, all teams that they thought he set him up for failure. The guy just lit him up. No interceptions. The guy had multiple touchdowns, which, for a quarterback to do that against a team like that is just phenomenal.
Now, the real question is, when Trevor Lawrence gets drafted next year, do you think he will be a better quarterback than Joe Burrow in the NFL?
It all depends on where he goes to New England or someplace like that. It all depends on the placement they go.
Well, I'll tell you what, he ain't going to New England because they're not going to go 1-15 this year.
Well, here's the situation. It's all about talent around him. Will the Cincinnati Bengals will have talent? Will Trevor Lawrence, whether team he goes to, have the talent around him? It's been proven you can't do it by yourself. You just can't. You need to have some weapons with.
Here's my thing.
Joe Burrow's not going to go do the whole thing by himself.
No, but here's my thing. They need to draft an offensive line after him. Once you get Burrow and get into the second round, you better go get some offensive linemen because that was the worst offensive line in the league last year. And Joe Mixon, who originally would be an all-pro quarterback, but when that defense is in the backfield, as soon as you get the handoff, you're not going to average 5 yards a carry. People are saying he had a terrible year, but what they didn't look at was that offensive line. It was just atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think Trevor Lawrence will be successful and will do it in a big way. It's like we talked about with that last guest we had on. Just his poise as well as his big game mentality. I still find it completely amazing that the guy's played 2 years He's got one national championship, went to the national championship, and has only lost one game his whole college career so far. And I don't even
Still
know how
surpass
many
that.
he lost in high school. But I think that guy, honestly, he has the qualities to be a big time quarterback, but it's all up to him to take advantage of it and to actually perform. And yes, it does help if you have the guys around you. Yes, unless you're Dak Prescott. But anyway, that's besides the point, which we're going to get to him in a second. But honestly, it'll be interesting to see if, because I think the Dolphins will get a quarterback this draft. The Bengals will have theirs. What team do you think he'll go to next year?
Who, Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, if you were to make a prediction.
Oh gosh.
Chicago.
I would maybe think if Atlanta has a bad year, Atlanta, because Matt Ryan might be done after this year.
I think Matt Ryan still has some game left. As long as he has some
Yes.
weapons.
Yeah,
Hey, he's got Todd Gurley to help him out.
that is true. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Want to switch
Okay.
gears, guys, for just a minute. Talking the NFL still. The new article came out. I think TMZ brought it out about Tom Brady over kissing his son. So I just thought we'd get each other's input on that. Of, is it okay to kiss your kids? I think it is.
It's fine. I mean, my dad. I mean, I've seen dads kiss their kids, dropping them off at school, and they're like 6, 7 years old. So I mean, it's family, man. I mean,
is there a time limit that we set on?
I don't know why TMZ brought that up. Why is that an issue?
TMZ likes to bring all the negative stuff up. They want to be the first ones out there, just like they reported the Kobe Bryant situation and got all the stuff wrong about it, and then
Yeah,
TMZ is just an overrated article company.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're
there's
just-
there's nothing.
whatever.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with kissing your kid. And that's just my opinion. So I don't know why that would be an issue. So I just find that a little ridiculous.
So back to Joe Burrow's stats his senior season: 60 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, 5,600 yards passing. Is that any good?
Yeah, that's just
That's
ridiculous.
pretty damn good, if you'd ask me.
I mean, come on, 5,600 yards, that's a piece of cake. Anybody can do that.
So if you're in a dynasty football league, do you take him in the top 3 picks?
Yeah, I couldn't trust him in his rookie year. But then again, at least I
Not
got
a
Patrick
rookie.
Mahomes.
I will say no just because of who the Bengals have at wide receiver. I mean, they do have A.J. Green, but he's coming off a big old injury.
He possibly might not even come back. We don't know yet.
Exactly. And then John Ross, I know they were trying to ship him out. So it's like, who do you really have at wide receiver?
Didn't they trade Tyler Boyd? Did Tyler Boyd get traded?
Oh, he'll be their number 1. Tyler
I was
Boyd.
going to say, yeah, he'll be their number 1.
So basically, they only have one receiver and a guy they want to trade and a guy who is coming off a year and a half long injury. I mean, it's just I don't know. I don't know if I'd pick him.
Now, if you were the Chicago Bears in this situation, going into training camp, would you make Nick Foles your first team starter in training camp over Mitchell Trubisky?
No.
Yes.
Make it a competition. Best quarterback wins. Make it a competition. Because outside of what Nick Foles did as a backup for Philly, even though he went to the Super Bowl, he hasn't really done much in his career. Other than have that great run, he had a chance at Jacksonville, got hurt, and he came back and didn't do anything. Mitch Trubisky hasn't done much, but, make it a quarterback competition.
Best quarterback wins. I agree with you, Armand. Just that's why you have competition. So whoever whoever's the best at a training camp, that's who you roll with. But I mean, as of right now, I think you have to roll with Trubisky, until training camp starts because you drafted this guy, and you have to let him have the chance first, and then just see who plays out through the training camp.
He's
The
the
Bears, they
co-
play well, actually, the Bears have played good. Never mind. My bad. That's sorry. Scratch that
All right.
Hey, no, I was just gonna say, I would somewhat give it to Foles right off the bat. Isn't that coach the same guy who is like his quarterback's coach in Philadelphia? Because how I'm visioning this whole little scenario is I think the coach of the Bears has been frustrated with Trubisky the last like 2 years. And I think that if you have Foles to kind of come in right off the bat and kind of show him what to do as while he's a backup, I think that will help him learn for when he will take the reins in a year or two, if not in that season, because of how injury prone Nick Foles is.
Yeah.
That's just kind of my take on how I see it playing out. Could I be wrong? Yes, but I honestly think he came to Chicago to start and to kind of show Trubisky the ropes.
Yeah.
So that's just me.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Now
I
here's
feel
a
like-
question for you. Here's a
Yeah.
question for you. There was a proposed trade. This is just a mock trade of sending Dak Prescott to the Miami Dolphins for Miami's, I believe, like number 5 pick, and we'd give them their number 17 in like a second or third rounder next year. Would you guys do that trade? I'll just start. I would say yes, because you're going after a rookie. Yes, he's a rookie, but he'll cost you way less than 30+ million a year. And also, too, I'm just tired of the Dak drama. When
But
he
here's-
tells you it's not about the money, yet they
Yeah,
give him
but
3 contracts. So
here's
I'm
the
just
thing,
done
though.
with
I would give him 1 year under Mike McCarthy and his offense and see what he can do. If he
But
doesn't succeed under that 1 year, then I would trade him next year.
But here's the problem, though. I think he's on a track to where he might hold out. And if he holds out with a new coach, that's just – I mean, it's bad enough he did a party with, like, more than 10 people, okay, and it had the cops come or whatever. But to do this to your new coach – I mean, granted, he could come back, and play even without a quote unquote long-term contract. But if he were to hold out, I don't think that would go rub well with Mike McCarthy.
Okay. Well, first he has to sign his tender. He hasn't even done this, so I don't think they can even trade him if he has to sign his tender offer. And can franchise tag players can they be traded if they're in a franchise tag? I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
I would think a franchise tag would mean that you could trade him.
And
Oh, yeah, franchise tag you can.
Yeah.
But he hasn't even signed that yet.
Yeah.
Right. And you're asking Miami Dolphins taking a $35 million contract for 1 year. I don't know. If I was the Dolphins, I would say no.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's finish up here. Let's get our answers. So, do you guys think Major League will play this year?
Yes.
I'm going to stand by what I've said for the past few weeks. I think it's 50-50 that we will see sports in 2020.
And I'm right there in the middle. It's this moment, I don't see it happening just because all of the things that have been going, things keep pushed back. At first it was the end of April, now it's May, and then, the governor just said it's probably the end of May, early June, so everything keeps getting pushed back. But, I think I agree with you on a 50-50 chance of right now being able
Well, sports or no sports, at least we will still have our shows and we'll still talk about the off seasons and all the stuff that will happen in the off season. So we'll still have stuff to talk about and plenty more shows. We'll have more guests on our shows. Next week we're going to have hopefully the Wichita Wind Surge AAA GM Jay Miller on the show. Let's hope so. And if that works out good, we'll have the Oklahoma City Dodgers general manager with us too. So stay tuned for those shows, and good show today, guys. Great talk, and hope everybody stays safe, and we will see you guys next time.